Hello, welcome back to the College Football Podcast, where today we are going to be talking about some games from last week that happened, and then we will be looking at predictions from not just today, but tomorrow's games, and then I might do some Sunday games. I haven't thought about it yet, but we're going to go through the list, get everything done, and then we'll go move on to this week's games. So to start us off, we had some big games this weekend. I sadly, again, did not see any of them. I was at work or I was playing some flag football with organization over that way. We're gonna say that way. And so I didn't really watch much of the games, but I still saw the highlights. I heard from people. I saw some other things. I always try to watch other people's reactions, try to figure out what they missed that I can find. So for the first game, with the Texas Oklahoma game, yeah, yikes. The beginning was horrible for Texas. Quinn Ewers coming into the game, we knew he was going to be a little rusty from not playing for 2 weeks. He threw the pick. Oklahoma scores the field goal. And then second quarter happens. And the two fumbles that killed Oklahoma just killed the game. Michael Hawkins was back there and he was confused. He didn't know what to do. The offensive line was collapsing in on him. Crazy statistic for this one. Oklahoma, for the entire game, had less than 150 passing yards and less than 100 rushing yards. I would have to check the Oklahoma-Texas game that was 49-0. That one year where Texas just absolutely killed Oklahoma. Or was it Oklahoma that killed? I don't remember. But I think that was the lowest total yards by one of these teams in probably has to be 20 years or so. This game's always high scoring, always just full of touchdowns, field goals, great plays at the end. But this one was probably the least entertaining game this year from like a big time game. Red River rivalry, just a huge game for everybody, and it was a dud. It was a big dud. Not much else to say. Yeah, Michael Hawkins, I'm sorry, but he gave up. It was 4th and 3. There's like 6:56 to go. It doesn't matter if you're down by 30 points. At least try to get the first down instead of just rolling out, oh, I'm just going to chuck it out of bounds. Like, come on, man. That was a very bad move on his part. I don't think that was very liked. I didn't like it. That just showed me that he doesn't want to try when he's down big. And so if I was a coach, I would have pulled him off the field at that point and just been like, okay, we're going to try the backup now. If you're not going to try, then we'll try the backup. So, yeah, the defense for Texas was amazing. They really just made Oklahoma want to just be done. They wanted to be gone. They didn't want to be there after about the third quarter. We could tell, and it was bad. But, yeah, Texas, this wasn't a good game, I don't think, for them, because now they have to play Georgia at home. And, I mean, I definitely have my doubts about Georgia, but I don't have my doubts about Texas, and that's a big problem because this game will show those weaknesses, or Texas is just unstoppable. Nobody can beat them, and it's over. Yeah, it's gonna be where If Texas wins this one and they beat them out by like 10, 17 points, then we're asking the question, can Texas be beat? On the flip side, if Texas gets beat by Georgia, then we're like, okay, they played an easy schedule. We found their flaws, and now everybody's got to exploit them, or Texas can win out. Georgia loses this game. I see it very difficult for them to go to the SEC championship if they lose this game. Because you still have Alabama, you still have LSU, and Tennessee, all with one loss. All three teams would have to lose. Georgia does play a hard schedule this year. I don't discredit that they don't play a hard schedule. They do. I just thought they would be better. I thought the Alabama game would be closer the entire game, but it ended up being a shootout towards the end because Georgia had to get back in the game. But it just, yeah. Texas, I see Texas winning, as you'll see a little later. I think Texas can win, but I don't think it's going to be by a huge margin. I think Texas will have their flaws. Georgia will try to exploit them. Texas will figure it out, and then Texas might win by like a field goal or something. Then Oklahoma, we saw Alabama play that South Carolina team. This is, again, another big defensive line that's going to punish Oklahoma if they cannot block on passing downs and running downs. If Oklahoma can't do that, they're going to get chalked up. It's going to be Colorado from last year. They did good at the beginning. They somehow beat Auburn on the craziest play. And then they go through their SEC schedule, and everybody has a good defensive line, and they just get squashed throughout the entire year. As they did in this game. I think, against Tennessee, they kind of failed as well. So it's going to be a difficult road for Oklahoma if they can't get things together. I think they need to really figure something out and get it figured out, honestly. And then the next game we go to is primetime, taking on Kansas State. This was better. I like the Colorado team that this year, this is a way better team. Problem? Negative 29 rushing yards is not going to win you a game. They fought. They got in it. Shedeur did what he did. 6 incompletions, 388 yards, 3 touchdowns. Negative 29 rushing yards. That is counting sacks because college football, they count sacks. But still, that is... I think they had like 12 rushing yards without sacks. Like, they did horrible rushing the ball. They couldn't do it. So they just threw the ball the entire game. And they figured out how to almost win because they have Omarion Miller and Will Shepherd, as well as Travis Hunter. But Travis Hunter got taken out of the game for something. I don't honestly remember what it was, but he got taken out. So Colorado didn't have their top receiver, but they had 2 others, and they were good. So they caught 228 of Shedeur's 388 passing yards, just those 2. So they can throw the ball. We never doubted that Colorado can throw the ball. It's more of, 1, can we run the ball? 2, can we please play defense? They have not played defense. Again, allowing 35 points is never good. Unless your offense can score 50 every night, which we haven't seen that since the LSU and Alabama, the 2020 Alabama team and the LSU 2019 team. We haven't seen a team that can just score 50 endlessly and win every game of the season. So this is going to be Colorado's defense. Defense needs work. Offense needs to work on the rushing.